Oh, welcome back to the museum. At the moment you can see I'm just walking the fields, well, fields, some people call them their little pocket handkerchiefs, just to see what needs doing. Well, I think we can, God, the maize looks nice. We can actually fertilise again, liquid fertiliser this time, and then when that's done, for the rest of this spring, it's going to be just about all clean up, and one other little task I want to do, and spuds growing. Everything by the looks of it except for the soy is growing at the moment. Whether we plant the soy too early, and I'll give it one more transition. If it hasn't come up by then, we will plough it up and reseed. We will still get a soy crop, we've got plenty of time as yet. Let's have another quick look at it. If there's any sign of all of it popping its little head through. Right, before we really get going, one little announcement. This may be a shorter one than normal. Real life keeps getting in the way, and I'm a little bit, Lord, we've got some barley here, which shouldn't have, never mind. And it looks like we overseeded here as well. But yeah, there's no sign of any soy in there. And I think everything here needs, just check the fertilising level. Well, most of this side's okay. It's already up to 3. So it's the other side just needs doing. So we can find a tractor and the fert sprayer, and we're going to spray the other side. This side will be fine. Fine. That's how you used to say on the goons. If you hear anybody saying that, originally I think that's one of Spike Milligan's characters who always say fine. That's a silly thing to think about. Right, I'm going to put this up first. Then I was going to tell you about the other little job I've got to do. We'll just drop off the first spreader. Now that's a 3-point. That's not it anyway. I think we had that attached to the tracked Oliver, and we might well use that. Drop that down, just disconnect it. Right, I'm going to take this back and I'll show you the other little job we've got to do this summer. Well, first we've got to clean all the equipment up. That's a must. But the other little job is, let's get into the seat. It's better. Just warn people I'm on the way through. Right, here we're going to plough this lot up. We're going to turn this into one field. I think there's one or two things we haven't grown yet. Let's just check on that. Fruito, poplar. We're not going to grow any poplar. For one very good reason. I've got nothing to do. I've got alfalfa. We may well give one field of alfalfa. I'm not going to bother with the oilseed radish. It's from fertiliser. We might well give one field of alfalfa and one of grass here, and we can turn this into 2. But that's the job for this summer, or this spring and summer. Oh, that's still there. Thought they might have rotted away by now. We're going slowly. The hay hasn't, because the hay hasn't had any wet on it. I thought the grass would have gone by now. I'm just leaving them there as experiments, just to see if these bales do rot, as the full-size ones do. Yeah, so that's a little task for later on. Now, what do I do with that fert sprayer? And what do I do with the Oliver? We may give that a run out. We don't use that a lot. Oh, we can't, can we? I don't think it's got a 3-point. Oh yes, and one other thing I've done, which I will just hook this up. Remember what this was like? 400 odd litres of fuel. Now it sits down, I'll go at 70. And I also slowed it down a bit, but it hasn't held too well. It's hard It used to be easy to slow these things down. You used to just change the differential, but we've got we've now got the fill down to a proper amount. Makes me feel happy anyway. I didn't like that having more fill than some of the modern tractors I'm using on other farms had. Oh, we might use the hurling actually. Anyway, put this away first. I'll pop that in here. Oh, we've still got that tray to go, and we've got the forks that are picked up off the Massey. Well, they call it a skid steer, but it's a wheel loader really. Small wheel loader, but a wheel loader nonetheless. Right, we'll go for a walk back through the farm and see if I can find what I've done with the rest of the stuff. I might have left it up here. You know me, it's one of the reasons, the other job we're going to do this year is tidy this lot up. We're going to put everything back in its right place. What's that down here now? Oh, I see you. Hey Bob. Hey Bob. Our fuel, Bowser. The only fuel we got in the place. Cultivator. I'm going to get some of these sorts in the right place. Everything together of the same type. Hey pussy. Yes, I was saying this could well be a short one today. I'm a little bit exhausted. Real life gets in the way at times, as I think you all know that only too well. Been back and forth to the hospital, not with myself, but with my mother for tests and what have you, and other things. And it's her birthday the other day, so I got a bit behind in recording and trying to catch up. I'm going to use a word I wouldn't normally use on screen. I'm knackered. Yeah, well, I said it now. That's a word that's perfectly capable in use. And by the way, I'm still killing chickens over on the main farm because I'm not feeding them. There can't be many left now. Alright, let's have a look, see what we've got here then. Oh, it's here, though. Oh, it has. That isn't a. Isn't it? Oh. Excuse me, I'm an idiot. But then again, I bet you all knew that already. Now it's going to be difficult to back this. Oh, but actually, we'd be better off. But let's be sensible about this. Move this out of the way, and I really want to move this lot into a barn. Wait for it to heat up fully. That's it, that's a white. It's still my favourite tractor a lot. I think, off the small stuff. It's took over from the Model A John Deere, one of my favourites. This is my favourite. It's dead, it's finished. I had to wait for it to finish off. Now then, perhaps we can now see about turn this thing out. It should always turn its own. So, because I can't turn this thing too sharp, it's the one thing about tracked vehicles. They do tend to lock up a bit if you turn them too sharp. There's another one of the SOBs mods, Cars Night mods. And I think I said that there has been a fix, we hope, released. Which surprised me, I didn't think Chaos was doing any more to this, but for the corn picker, in which case we will be using that this year. As you remember, it's why we've got two fields of maize, one to forage, and that's going to be fun with a single row forage harvester. And one to use the corn picker, which is also not much more than single row. I'm going to come out a cab to do this because this hasn't got the gubbins in for the sprayer extension, so Put that on to cruise. That's better. Let's see where we're going now. 4 mile and a half. I think we have got plenty of liquid fertiliser. If not, we'll just pay another quick visit to the shop and pick up another can. So I'm not putting the fill triggers in the farm. I took them out then when Darren remade this particular map for me. He also removed the triggers. He just removed the triggers. I removed the whole flaming lot. It looks actually better the way he's done it because it shows the old tanks in place. But I don't like having fuel on the farm in a never-ending supply. I don't like having seed and fertiliser on the farm never-ending. That's just what I am. There we go over each crop. Now this is all should be a row crop tractor. Actually, is what this was built for. You see, it's high. It should be built to do this. Go down the rows. I don't know if I'm going to try and see if I've got the rows about right. Yes. So you can just about squeeze in between them. And if you should hit one, you're only going to take one row out. But first level growth, you can't affect it. You can drive all that with your heart's content, which is why I always cut grass at the first growth level, which is the first cut level. And I can fertilise it just before I do it to get the full fertilisation on. Oh, this is I find hard. But see, with the tractors, the fit I'm using, it's fine. It's been fixed so it doesn't do that. But the one I got down at the entrance to the museum, of course, hasn't been fixed, and that's even worse than this to use. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but just you have to be very, very gentle when you're turning. No sharp turns, although these things should turn in their own length easily. As it should almost do 360 degrees in their own length, with one track going forward and one back. Because it's hard to model that. Well, as you can see, we've got growth at last. And with growth comes the hope of actually making some money on this place. I'm just going to see how well we're doing. There is a few places over the other side that want another small fertiliser. I might just spray over that and see if I can get that up to 3 layers. Although I ain't going to get this side up to 3 layers, not over the whole lot. I'm going to miss some. Not deliberately. I must say the spuds look good. They do look well. Got some weed into the field just here, but it's not often. And we come through to finish our first lap. As I say, it's not always going to be exciting stuff. It's just going to be using equipment which is slightly different to the norm on Let's Plays and YouTube videos. And it's equipment I enjoy using. I enjoy this old stuff, this small stuff. And I'm just going to give another mention to my mate Species 7. He also likes using the old stuff, and he goes out his way to find it on the net. He searches a lot harder than I do, and he's got some very interesting kit. Got very nice, well, it's listed as a Lizard Case 700 combine, and that would actually do well here, but I haven't bothered to try and hunt for it yet. Well, we're almost on the first lap. I think we will have to refill this again. But this should be the last fertilising on here. But the two new fields will need fertilising. They're both going to be a bit bigger, I think. I'm going to make those more conventional American style fields. Oh, just turn that off. We've got ourselves caught there. That's it. You got to remember too, with a lot of this old gear, there's no spare horsepower at all. I don't know what this Oliver pushes out, but 30-ish, I suppose. And I should imagine the sprayer's taken a lot of that, so there isn't a lot left to actually drive the tractor itself along. You see, it's only, what is it, a twin? I think it's a twin. I'll have to have a closer look at that when we're done here. Now if we think about it, we'd be better going round and round here. We're going to do less damage than trying to turn around at the end. Even with the row crop tracks on, we are going to scrap the soil up something terrible. And this is the fertiliser spray that Darren modded for me. It was, and I'm not certain where I got this from, but I remember seeing it in one of the mod packs for one of the maps on 15 that's been updated to 17, the sprayer. But that was a lot wider, about twice the width, and I didn't want it twice the width. But didn't have non-destruct tyres or wheels on. Well, Darren has done it so it's half the width it was. It also now has an option to put roll crop tyres on narrow wheels on, which I've done on this. But it's not available, so don't ask me for it. I can't let it go. It's not my mod or Darren's to let anybody have. It's someone else's original work, and I don't like people letting stuff go that isn't theirs or purporting to have done it themselves. The same as the Ursus I was using. I cannot let that go. It's mine and mine only, basically because I have modded to reflect more the speed it should be doing, but it's not my original work, and I haven't got permission to release it, and I'm not going to ask for permission to release it. So there, so. But the original mod is very good. It's just too quick. If you want one, you're not worried about it being identical to what you'd expect to find. Get it, because it's a very, very nice mod indeed. Doesn't matter. Can we actually? Yes, we can. Look, we can just about. Yeah, they want to be slightly wider, those tracks. Oh, not the tracks, but the wheelbase will be very slightly wider. For potatoes, I thought that'd be perfect for doing them with. I see people walking past outside. Yeah. No one up on the stand, but well, spraying is not something that excite people too much. I expect to have more people watching when I'm making the new fields, and that's really what we will be doing. We will be making two new fields, and we will, well, the grass will stay as grass all the time, but the other one will rotate through the crops through the years. Not to be honest, that will be too much of a rotation, because I can't I don't know how long I'll keep this going after 19 launch. So I want to get 1 year done anyway, just to run right through the year. Well, certainly until harvest is completed, and I think that's my aim. And that's going to take quite a while. A lot of small fields, it's small equipment. There's a lot of it, and some of that equipment is not just small; it's minute. This crop here, for example, it's going to take quite a while to forage it. A 1-row forager. Wish me luck. I think the temperature's only just a thing about it. Probably the soy could still come through. Find it hadn't frosted in the ground. But if it hasn't, I've got time to replant that. Won't plough, just cultivate in and seed again. At least here, we're not like a commercial farm. We're not worried about the cost so much. And mind you, using this vintage equipment, there's a lot of costs involved. It just cost us overnight somewhere around £400 just for maintenance for the equipment we got. That includes wages for specialist engineers to come in very regularly to fettle them. We fettle them as much as we can, but we can't do everything. We're getting there. Now you notice I'm not stopping spraying just because I'm running all the pathways. I'll be non-stop, stop-starting. There's a lot of stops in that sentence. Sounds a bit like I'm sending a telegram. I did no joke on that, but I think it gets a bit blue if you're not careful, so I shall not tell it. Not even start to tell it. I may not list myself as a U-rated channel, or I think in America G-rated, but I do try and stay certainly a U-rated, or certainly PG anyway. Parental guidance. I'm not certain what all the different ratings are around the world. I know G rating through Gritty Bear Sims, who makes all his G, as does I think Duxoli does too, and he's Australian. Of course, they must use a very similar system in Australia. In Britain, we use U, PG, X, and R. I think restricted. It's also an A. I'm not certain where A comes in. I think it comes under PG. I'm not certain. Long time since I've gone to the pictures. Well, where I live, our nearest picture house is 20 mile away. Not really one you want to just whip to, just on the off chance. Used to be one in the local town here, and there used to be one in the town next to the village I was born. When I was young, we used to go there regularly, the Mayfair in Bungay, and then became the Broad Way, and then closed. Story of a lot of picture houses. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop spraying now. I'm going to refill this as we're close to the area to refill, and Oh yeah, I was going to also have a look, see how many cylinders this thing had. Look, it's very agricultural. What sort of horn does this one have? Ah, the klaxon again. Isn't that far better than John's? Beep beep, beep beep. I think that's one thing John could do a little bit of work on. It wouldn't cost them anything. Even if they used the same horn for everything, they had a horn that sounded like a tractor horn. I've yet to come across a tractor that makes the sound that their horns make. There we are. Are we close enough? Yes, we are. Alright, let's get over what's that doing that. One wire there. Can't really see the size of the fan that works in there. That's rather neat. Oops. No, it is a 4-cylinder. You can see the 4 inlets this side. I had never noticed before that the fan worked on this. When you look at that compared to, no, it's all gauges in there too, which you can't actually see if you're in the seat. Is that? Oh, we've run out on that one. I'm going to have to back up a bit. That's not so much as the tracks getting caught on the container, on the sprayer itself. Don't think it's close enough, is it? No. I hoped. Yes, that's what's happening. See this, if we come off that, it starts here. Not that the track's up. Corner. Now I'm going to try the impossible. I'm going to try back in this. I don't know, this is going to go on quite a way. That's not a very exciting video, but I don't think I ever promised my videos would be exciting. I know what I was just going to do. There we are. Well, that one, oh, that's a modded one again, I think. That is pitiful. That's a giant's horn. That's pitiful. Sorry, but that it really is. So is that someone's used the giant's horn on that? Man, did he change it? No. Oh, they are pitiful though. We know that one's got a good one. Let's see if they. No. That's pretty good. Ah, it's more like it. That's more like if they had that note on, that's a bit lorry like that one. Oh. I can understand a lot of modders just using the standard Giants one. But that's too weak for a tractor. Far too weak. What's this one got? Better again. Seator. That's even worse. That's an awful horn, that one. Oh, no. There we are. We're just done the good horn guide. Well, if that don't give me an X certificate, nothing will. They're still not talking to me. Just ignore me. Ah, that's it. That's full. Right. Well, might as well see if we can finish this off. We're not even going half an hour, so what we'll do, try and finish this field off. I do like all the work that chaos put in here, all the levers, because that's your steering, there's 2 levers there. Pull them back to turn the track that way, pull this one back to turn it that way. Got the gear lever, and I don't know if that's animated or not. But all your instruments, as we saw, you can't really get to them, can you? You can see them all in there under the tank. You never see them when you're driving this thing. Anyway, let's come out of cab. Oh, because I got myself caught on that again. We must have just turned here, so we ain't got much to do now. We're going to finish this off fairly soon. Right, let's put that on there. Get ready to start spraying. Right, yeah, so I think I'll call this episode the Good Horn Guide. Oh yeah, it's a good beer guide, good food guide. I don't use the horns on these vehicles, mainly because most of the giant ones are so weedy, you wouldn't anyway. As I say, I don't blame the modders, I don't blame them for using the horns, that's only a very small part of it. I do think that giants should just do a little bit on the horns to make them sound a bit more meaty. Should be quite a loud, even a loud short note would be help. Look at that. It's excellent. You can almost see the old siren in there. Look at a lot of these early tracks wouldn't even have horns. Somewhat it just had a bulb horn. I remember early motorcycles, that's all they had. And early cars come to that. I don't know, looks like we've just about done the spuds. Looks like we ought to just go into the next field a bit. We just got a little bit there we missed. If you want me to test anything else on these models, said he sounded like Witch. That is Witch, the consumer organisation, not Witch, the of the Coven type. I failed the medical to become a witch. Oh yeah, it just might be slightly wider for spuds, so both all slightly narrow wheelbase. Need to be wider rather than narrow. Then that actually look right. You know, my memories get worse. I can't remember what I seeded the potatoes. Did I use that two or three roll mini unit? I think I did. I might have to see if I can dig someone else up. Oh, I don't think I keep saying, mind you, but I don't think we're going to come to that. I think that 19's going to be released before we get round to next year's plant, especially spring crops like potatoes. We may get some winter wheat, barley, oats, rye and rape, of course. We're almost there, folks. Oh, there we go, we got caught again. That's going to be fairly well fertilised just there. Yes, keep forgetting this thing turns so sharp that you've got to be careful what you put on the back. There's not much what will actually go on the back if you try and use the steering to its full advantage. We will take that sprayer off when we're done. I think we might have time today, and we'll just see how well we can turn this thing. Not on the field, certainly not on a crop. Today's full of experiments, and on me battery just died on me vapor. So we sort of miss bits now because I'm just changing batteries over. I'll go with fags for another addiction. I think I have one of these addictive personalities. I have to have something else addictive. That's better, that's charged. I put the other one on to charge. I bought myself a USB powered hub just so I could charge these things up. I'm that bad. Turn that off while we're just turning. Oh yeah, we're almost there. Right. I don't think we've done too bad a job spraying this. Still bits which are shown as missing, but going in real life, in with the modern satellite systems they use, you still get bits what are missed. You know, those modern systems are fairly fantastic. It reads what the field is, what it needs, then tells the machine to do it. And all the operator's doing now is driving it and switching it on. You know, these modern farms with all the latest equipment which costs the earth, they don't seem to, they try not to waste anything, but there's a part of me wonders that, you know, you try not to waste anything, does it cost you more because of the equipment you have to buy to be able to not waste anything? Obviously the upside is there should be less nitrogen going into the water system. Like how I've been fairly good here. I haven't overwatered too much, but there's still over fertilised too much, but there's still too much fertiliser. Like here, I'm over spraying badly by a full half bar, and that won't get taken up by the plants. That will stay in the soil, be washed into the water course. Of course. Sorry about that. Trying to do it so I don't waste quite so much. I know they've got a save in. Once more up this way, I think. A little bit to do on the next field down, but the maize is almost all done. I'll get back to this tractor again. I hardly use this. I had this on 15. That's before I think Cars Night joined OEB modding, which became SOB modding. I found that somewhere, and I can't remember where, and I fell in love with. First, he always had a small farm pack of machinery, most of which he brought out for 17, but not all. Plus 3 tractors. The Farmall 300 is Oliver, and the JD Model I. So I used those a lot, but the one mod I wish someone had updated to 15 then to 17 was a Field Marshal, which I found on 13 and I used it and it worked well. I think it's a French guy had done it, but he'd actually done, it had to be a Series 3. The only one that's ever released was the electric start, because it had electric start, but you also had a manual start. You got outside and you cranked it. And there's also a third method for starting them, which I think I said before, is the cartridge method. You put what looked like a shotgun cartridge, but without the shot in actually, into a special container on the cylinder head, turn the piston through to top dead center, or just past top dead center, hit the firing pin with a hammer, the cartridge fired, and all being well, and that's it. I'm not going to bob it the other side now. I was going to look at the other side, but I don't know I will now. I want to get back in the cab. Bring this down to a sensible speed again. It's so little got to be done there, and we're only missing one fertilizer level, I think. And that sent the piston down that charge. And you had a decompressor valve on the head, which you held open. It's only a valve on the head, which until it reached a reasonable speed, the engine let go of that, and it should fire up, and all would be hunky dory. Wasn't all the time, of course. Oops. This thing does not like back in this. Oops. The sprayer, it's not the best thing in the world to bag up. I'm going to do my other method of bagging up. I take it right down to about 2 mile an hour, and hopefully it's slow enough for me to keep an eye on. All this has got to come out and be cleaned up anyway. Whoops. Hope I didn't hit it, or I did. Oh well. So much for hoping I didn't hit it. Right. That'll do. Now we were just gonna play with this out on the grass for a couple of minutes. And was I wind up for the day? Come out of cab so we can see what's happening there. Yeah, all this stuff is going to be ploughed in. Right. Yeah, you see like that, near enough in its own. Yeah, that works perfectly. Now if we look at that, one track should be going forward and one back. It's hard to tell, but because that's not actually doing that, it just looks like it is. In cab again. This would be tearing the ground up. Right, anyway, with that I want to say thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please consider leaving a like. I'm just going to take this up here. We should have finished with the Oliver for this year. So thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider leaving a like. If you're not a subscriber, no, I'm not going to beg today. No, I'm not. Okay, well, please subscribe. Any comments, questions, queries, suggestions, or anything else you've got, please post them in the comments section under this video. I read everyone. Yes, I can read. I'm not surprised at some people. Only those who know me, of course. So with that, there's me saying cheerio for now. Cheerio.